Okay, y'all. What's up? What's up? I haven't done a video in a few days. Well, I just got a lot going on. My GoPro camera, the back screen. Stuff up real quick. On my GoPro camera, the back screen cracked and was kind of shattered. And I ordered a new screen, and of course, they sent me. I took it apart. I had it all together, you know, and then I took mine apart, and the screen that they sent me was the wrong screen. So now the GoPro's sitting there all apart, and yeah. So I appreciate all the comments on the shop video. I know I haven't really been doing a lot of content, but I got a lot of stuff going on. So I got a lot of stuff going on, y'all, you know. So there's my box, the electrical box there. The electrician's gonna come today and start part of the process down at the house. Going and get it, tied into my breaker box down there, and get that. But that's going to be the hardest part, is tying into my existing breaker box, because, well, you got all the stuff in the way, you got up and down out of the attic. It's just a lot. Now here, all this new stuff, construction, wiring is going to be good. But that is the cable. Here is the conduit that we're going to use above ground. This is direct buried aluminum. I believe it's number 2, y'all. It's expensive cable. So this, and then you got the boxes there, and then you got the 100 amp box that's going to go on the wall right here. The problem I'm running into is the timing, and it's my fault, is the timing of the electrical versus the installation timing, see? So that's really where I'm at. I can't hardly do a lot until the power gets up here, obviously. But the installation needs to get done before we run the power, because this is my thinking. And, I don't really know. Sorry, y'all. I'm all over the place, man. I don't really know the process on how all this needs to go down, but these walls are going to get foamed, okay? This wall, the whole wall, the back wall, the other wall on the other side, and of course, and they're not foaming the doors, of course. So, with that being said, there's a lot of things that I don't really know, right? At the end of the day, but my thinking is what I'm going to do is, after the foam is done, I'm going to put 3/4 tongue and groove. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be tongue and groove, because I'm not going to stack these pieces on top of each other or nothing. I'm going to run tongue and groove, 3/4 inch OSB board, and this stick, I got it all in my garage. But what I didn't do in my garage, y'all, is I didn't put insulation behind it, and that was because, well, I just bought the house. I was just trying to make it where I could fasten stuff to the walls of the garage, and I was able to do that, but I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't have any money. So I'm kind of splurging just a little bit on this shop, because you can't hang anything from the walls like it is. You can't hang nothing from this. This stuff is just it's sheet metal. So it's just, I'm going to be putting, y'all see this 5/4 deck board I got right here? So that 5/4 decking board, it's going to go something like that all the way across the floor. You know, all the way around the building to give me a base, because I don't want the OSB board, because there's water seems to creep in here, especially with the rain that we've had a lot of rain. So I'm going to go around and caulk everything, but also I'm going to use ground contact wood like this piece, and what I'll do is I'll run this piece, whatever it takes to get all the way around the floor, sort of like a, you know, a mold board or a molding board, you know, trim, if you will. And then on top of that, I'm going to put a 3/4 inch OSB 4x8, and I'm going to lay, and so we're going to come up 4 foot wherever that is, wherever the board comes up at, and the OSB board is going to sit on top of this board, and it's going to be all the way around. Of course, not where the doors are, but all the way around. Going to stop right there. Blah blah blah. So there's a few tools that I'm going to have to go down to my not my shipping container, but my storage unit and get. I got a miter box, compound saw. I got a lot of tools, man. There's a lot of tools that I got that you guys have never even seen. So, but I can't do anything with this and this until they do the spray foam. Can't really do anything hardcore with the electrical until they do the spray foam. See, because, well, my electrical is gonna, all the boxes and conduit is gonna run on the outside. We're gonna have conduit running around, and we're gonna have yeah, we're gonna, I mean, I'm not even gonna try to go inside the walls with the conduit with the foam insulation. The conduit's gonna be on the outside of my 3/4 inch OSB tongue and groove board. Now we know that the OSB board, well, it's strong, but it ain't strong like that piece of wood, or like a 2x8 or a 2x10, you know, or, you know, to screw to. So what's going to end up happening is, and I know it's going to be all overkill, but it's really going to help the structure of the shop here. Once we do the spray foam, and we're probably going to go ahead and put our wire and this box and all in here, so when they spray foam, they can either encase that or not. It doesn't matter, because it'll just be a little section, right? So yeah, and then I want this box though to mount on the outside of the OSB board. And before anybody says anything, well, the OSB board's not that strong. Well, the 3/4 inch is pretty freaking tough. Now, what I will be doing too is, after I get the 4 foot piece of OSB board in here, you know, so we're gonna lay them long way. They're 4x8. We're gonna lay them long way, 8 foot, and I'm gonna have to do some, you know, yeah. Because it's from there to there is not 8 foot, but from that corner to that one is more than 8 foot. So I'm going to have to cut it and you know, screw it to that to cover each section. But it's an 8 foot board. I'm just guessing will probably come out to about right here somewhere, right? Well, that ain't good, because I don't want, you know, I got to have some structure behind everything. I got some extra metal tubing that they left me, so there's a lot of things that I can do to, you know, to shore up the back of the OSB board. Yeah, like I can get some blocks of this stuff right here. I can screw it in here, right, and then to give me an extra piece of ledger to fasten to. So after the 4 foot OSB board, and anything that I hang a lot of weight on, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna buy a bunch of these right here. These boards right here are about $7 or $8, about $8 or $9 each. And this is a 5/4 decking board. This is only an 8-footer because, well, when you get into 16-foot and all, well, they start getting bent, banana warped and everything. I like buying 8-footers, but I may buy some 10-footers and 12-footers too, just to stretch. So after I put the 4-foot piece on, right, and we get up to 4 foot, then what I'll do is I'll run me some of the decking to be able to screw things to, i.e. this box right here, or anything that is heavy. And this board right here, these boards that I got right here, I got one set that's going to go across the floor like I was telling you, but I'm going to buy more because these ideas are just coming to me as I go. So this right here is the OSB board, and this is 1/2 inch, but dude, this is too flimsy, man. You're not going to be able to screw anything to this stuff and it be any kind of weight, you know. So all the way around the whole shop, we're going to go with 3/4 inch. This is 1/2 inch. And then on top of the 3/4 inch, we're going to put the 5/4 decking wood. I might, you know, whatever, right? And then on top of that, well, that's where I'm going to run my plugs, you know, the outlets and everything from conduit. So if something happens or whatever, then I'm able to get to the wiring without having to dig up in the damn, yeah, y'all know the foam. That foam is going to be pretty dense. It's closed cell foam, and yeah. So then after I do all that and we get the basic electrical in here, then what I'll do is I will run this 1/2 inch stuff right here above where I'm not going to be fastening anything, right? Just to cover the insulation up and to kind of give it a more cosmetic, appealing look, and it'll help protect the insulation and all that. I don't plan on painting it or nothing, though. I don't think this stuff is that attractive, really. I had rather have, you know, just regular plywood, but yeah, I'm going to have to go with this because it's just of a monetary value. But nothing's really going to be stressing this. It's just going to be screwed to the studs as all the way up to the ceiling. And I may turn it long way where I can get 4 foot in here, but most of these studs are further than 4 foot. You know, so that's going to be a job right there where it's going to be a lot of framing, not framing, but a lot of cuts and stuff. But all that can't take place until the foam is in. And the foam is really going to shore this building up. So the price is on the foam, y'all. So I had one guy come out and he told me $2,250 for the foam. Now, before I go too deep into that, one thing that has been, let me set this camera up where I can put it over it and everything. One thing that has been a factor here, well, it's always money, of course, but I have a budget. My budget, you know, and this is all afterthought. This is not nothing, you know, I don't know, man. I just don't want to be sorry that I didn't do something after I put boards on here. Because in order for me to make this shop useful, y'all, I'm going to have plugs everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So these are costs outside of the, you know, the money that I've already spent, you know, as far as the concrete goes and the building. So the concrete was about $8,500 total. The building was like $23,000. Now on the building, the way I did it, I financed $10,000 and I gave them $13,000. I wrote a check for $13,000. So the payment on the building, after I did that, is going to be like, and it's not exact right yet. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's going to be something like this. it's like $208 or something like that a month. There's no interest. Now, the building's only been here a little over a week. Y'all know I've been dealing with my mom's passing, and that's been pretty difficult for me to stay focused on anything. So I haven't really done anything, because I haven't really felt like doing anything. It's just like, I don't know. So, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at on my thinking. So the building being, you know, $210 a month or whatever, I may, and there's no penalty like it is with the man lift, where if I pay it off early, I lose money or gain money. There's no penalty because I'm paying no interest. And I think it's for 4 years. So I don't know, I have to do the math. It might be 3 years. I can't remember, man. I've had a lot in my head. It doesn't matter. I know I'm not paying no interest. And I know that if I wanted to, that I could write a check for the 10 grand and be done with it too. And that may be something that I do, but I was scared at the moment of ordering the building to jump out there too deep, more than the $13K that I was already coming out of my pocket. And since they were financing for no interest, you know, I mean, of course, my goal, and you guys all know that, my goal is always to pay stuff off. I don't like to, and it ain't because I'm a noble guy. I like to pay things off so I can buy something else. So, considering I finance, you know, $10,000 on the building, then I'm going to turn around and really, at the end of the day, with the power, it just didn't occur to me, y'all, that the power was going to be, well, that I was going to need it so fast, or that in order for me to run good power up here, that I need to have the walls done. Because I don't want to be drilling holes and running power outlets and everything, and the only place I can put an outlet is on a stud, you know. And I want to insulate it, so we're going to go on and splurge a little bit and do the insulation. The biggest thing with insulation was, well, the money's always one factor, but the other factor is the timing. The first guy I called out here, he, good guy. I mean, me and him, you know, went over the building, went over the costs, went over the pros and the cons, and exactly what to get. He did try to sell me on doing the ceiling up there, but I'm not going to worry about the ceiling right now. That's just not. The ceiling was going to be, well, to rip out, and that doesn't make no sense. The building's brand new. I'm not going to rip out this insulation. You know, he was saying that insulation ain't no good, and you know, all that, and okay, but they just put it in. They just put it in a week and a half ago. So I'm not going to be ripping that out. So what he wanted to charge for that, of course, I never was on board. He told me to put 2 quotes together, and that's what he did. He put a quote for the ceiling and for that, and then he put a quote, you know, put them together. And so the final number was going to be, for the ceiling and the walls, was going to be $4,700. Yeah, and that included $700 to rip out this insulation that's on the ceiling, that's on the roof. I mean, he could tell me he'd rip it out for free, and I wouldn't have done it. I'm gonna have to go through. I'm gonna have to go through a season and see how this does. He says that this insulation right here is not any good, and that it's going to drip water and everything. Well, we're going to have to. That's what it's going to have to do. And I haven't seen. We've had bukus of rain, y'all. Bukus of rain, and I haven't seen one drop of water hit the floor. Now there is water seeping in on the edges, you know, where the doors are and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't seen anything for the roof, and I'm not going to rip that out. I'm certainly not going to pay $700 to rip it out when I got a man lift right there, and I could go up there and cut that stuff out with a razor knife if I wanted to. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go through a season like that, and if I feel like it's not worthy or whatever, then next year I may have them come back and spray foam. We've got to get the priorities in order this year. The number one priority well, it was the power. But even before that, since I want to do things a certain way, I have to do things a certain way. The spray foam is going to be the number one thing I got to do. It's unfortunate that I'm going to have to come out of my pocket all that money, but I'm going to have to in order to the building to be everything I want it to be. Also, one quick thing is I ordered so I got lighting, you know, I got UFO lights coming. They're supposed to be really good lights. I got 6 of them. You know, I'm gonna space them out. I got a grid and everything that I'm gonna go by that the company sent me. The hydro lights. These are the. They have, each one of them has 21,000 lumini or whatever, and they recommended 6 of them. Well, they recommended 6 of them that's like 18 lumini, but I stepped up a little bit because the price difference was only like $10 each or whatever. So I went with the 150 watt, 21,000 lumini each light. So this place is going to light up like a freaking operating room, y'all. And I'm probably going to put them on different, you know, switches, like maybe have the ones in the center be on one switch, and then the ones on the outside be on another circuit. So I can turn them off and on and all that kind of thing. Well, I don't have to have them all going all the time. Yeah. So that's they're already ordered, and they're coming from California. So, you know, at the end of the day, the building, after I get everything done, just to get it where I can actually use it. I mean, I could use it now. I got extension cords, and now my extension cords will not run my air compressor, but I don't use the air compressor that much. I haven't used an air tool in years, y'all. The battery powered stuff is good for everything that I do. So yeah. So on another topic, you know, so my mom's car out here, I'm running into some real problems dealing with her car to make it where I can sell it or give it away or something. In the state of Georgia, if the car is not 25 years old, I think that's what she said. Y'all don't hold me to that. If the car's not 25 years old, you have to have a title. Well, my mom, I haven't been able to find the title. She thought she knew where it was. I went and looked, and I never have found it yet. Now, I still got to go through that car, and the car might be in the back of her car. I'm going to have to look. But there's all kind of problems with getting a title for that car for me, considering the car is in my mom's name. Well, you can just, you know, yeah, it's a lot more complicated than that. So I talked to the county yesterday, and the biggest problem we're running into is that my mom can't, like, I know that I can do, well, whatever I need to do in my mom's name, because I'm the only son, only child, and I'm the beneficiary of her, the good and the bad, okay? So the car's not worth anything at the end of the day, and I'm not emotionally attached to the car or nothing like that either. So the biggest thing that I'm gonna run into problems with is the fact that my mom's driver's license is still, the address on them is still at her Atlanta Sandy Springs address. That's a problem in order to change the title over. There was a reason why she didn't change her license address over. And now that she's passed away, it's going to be super difficult for me to do that. In order for me to get a title, I got to get a title. The first title is going to come in her name, right? And then I'm going to sign, and then we're going to sign whatever we need to sign to sell me the car, pretty much. Just got to make it easy on the state. So sell me the car. But in order for my mom's estate to sell me the car, the title's got to be in her name. She doesn't have a title. In order to get a title, we got to change her driver's license address in order for her to get a title in this county. Yeah, it's complicated. I might not be wording it just right, so y'all don't hold me to none of that. But I talked to the DMV yesterday in my county here, and they said that in order to get a title, she's the only one that can get a title. And in order for her to get a title, it's going to have to be in her name. In order for it to be in her name, it's going to have to be in the address that she's at right now, and has been there for 3 years. So the only thing that I can do is go online with her driver's license and change out and change the address, and then take a copy of that up to the DMV to get a title in her name. And then they'll send me the title, and then after they send me the title, well, then we'll be where we are right now. Then I could just sign the back of the title, and then I could take the title back up to the DMV and get the title in my name, and then I can sell the car. There's a lot of running around to do for a car of that value. And another thing too is the car emission, it's got to pass emissions to get a tag for it. So y'all see my dilemma here, and all of this is, it's all very time consuming. So if I wanted to sell the car to Zach right now, I couldn't even do that. I thought the car was a 1997, but it's actually a 2001. So it is 4 years or 3 years from being 25 years old. Yeah. So then at some point you have to weigh, well, is the car worth me spending all that time in, considering I'm not emotionally attached to it or nothing? It's just a car, and it ain't even a good car. You know, you have to weigh that yourself, you know. But as long as it's not, you know, costing me a lot or anything, then, you know, I'd be willing to do that, all that running around. But I got to go over to my aunt's and get my mama's driver's license. My aunt's got all that. And we have, the car's got insurance on it. And of course, we canceling the insurance. Yeah. So there's a lot of moving parts going on right now. And then on top of that, it's been raining for the last week. I haven't made any money. And I'm spending hardcore, you know. I'm pretty much just rolling the dice on future earnings, really. But this shop's got to be everything I need it to be. And I'm not going to be half-stepping on anything in this shop like I did in my garage. See, in my garage, I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff just to have outlets all around, running the extension cords and then cutting the end of the extension cord off to running it into an outlet, you know, and wiring the outlet and putting the outlet where I needed it and that kind of thing. I don't want to do none of that up here. I want all this to be coated and everything. So this building is going to be everything that I want it to be, and it's going to cost me to do that. So it ain't shocking. You know, I could have probably got it cheaper. It won't be shocking for me to be spending another $6,000 after the building is built to get. I have no idea. I don't even know. My buddy, electrician, is doing the power. I don't know what he's going to charge me, but I know that he ain't cheap, you know, and I don't want anybody to do anything for free. But, you know, we'll just see what he comes in at. But he's going to run the power no matter what. I know he's going to be cheaper than anybody else, and I know he's qualified to do it. So, and the timing and everything too. So he can come over here and tinker around like today's going to come over here and run it from the box to outside. And then once we get the line coming down the outside of the house, then I'll have to go rent a trencher and dig the trench.